Hello, Grey Couch family.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Autism Month. We have the Lawrences here with us, and I don't know.
We're going to let them introduce themselves in a minute, but honestly, you're in for a treat. We've known them for how long?
Oof.
A long time.
Philadelphia days, right? Philadelphia days.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So introduce yourselves.
You go first, Antonia.
I'm Antonia Gonzalo Lawrence. And should I introduce Polari? This is Polari.
As you said, I'm Polari Lawrence.
I know, right? You can already see
Husband.
Husband, then wife. But welcome to the Grey Couch.
Before we go in, how long have you guys been married, and how long have you guys known each other before you got married?
Wow.
We were married since September 19. No, sorry. We've been dating since September 1993.
Oh, that's 30 years.
Yeah, we got married
August 14th, 1997.
Yeah.
Okay, so 26 years.
In Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay. So if people it's interesting, like you didn't date for too long, right? About 4 years.
That's enough.
That's not too long.
That's not enough.
It's enough.
It's enough.
No,
compared to the people that came last week that said they dated for almost 7 years, right? That was long distance, so it's a little bit different. Yeah. But you were also long distance, if I remember, from Lagos to Port Harcourt.
I mean, we both lived in Lagos, but I was in school in Uniport, and it was so.
Yep. I remember the adventures.
Just fly over to Port Harcourt and then they were threatening him there. Like, what are you doing in Port Harcourt? This Lagos.
I know, from Lagos, right?
Was always in trouble whenever he comes to visit.
Yeah.
I knew what I was looking for, so.
I know, and you still have it. It's
30 years later.
I love it. Okay. So we're just going to go straight in.
And we're going to start with communication.
Okay.
So after 26 years marriage, 30 years dating, what does authentic communication look like to you? And how does it compare now with the early days?
Wow.
Let me go first, and
Okay.
then I can.
Sure.
So obviously, we know one thing for sure: that communication is a two-way street, and there's a lot of listening and understanding what is being said, and then obviously making some inroads with whatever has been communicated to you. For me, over the years, it was very difficult. And I'm still working on it. I'm still working when it comes to that. I believe I'm getting better. And I'm beginning to, give some concessions where I'm supposed to. And even sometimes when I'm not supposed to, but that's the best way to go, really. There's this saying everyone says, happy wife is a happy life, And lately I've tried to accept that as much as I can, and because I want to be happy. I mean, everyone doesn't want to be happy, and if she's happy, I'm happy. So, stress yourself over little things. That's what I see it. Antonia, it's up to you to say what you have to say.
I mean, my point of view is kind of different. I believe in open book conversation, being very transparent with each other. If things happen, I don't believe we have to sleep over it. Fulani knows that. Like when he says, "Oh, something happened," it stops. I'm like, we have to discuss it right now. We have to talk about it. And I think all that actually came from that upbringing. we joke a lot, like Fulani, like my mom's family. My mom's waited in Port Harcourt. Like anything happened, they always having meetings, like funny. Everybody just get in the living room and address you by age, and we talk about it. So I grew up with that. Like anything happened, we don't have to wait or just keep quiet, or even I'm angry. I'm gonna say I'm angry right now, but let's talk about it. So coming from him was kind of different. He just be like, things happen and we don't have to. So that was a part of communication. I'm glad he said he's still working on me. Mr. Lawrence, thank you. We're still working on that, but it's gotten much better over the years. Because now things happen, we just like talk about it, even with the kids, like right now. Yeah.
I love it too, especially when he said he's still working on it, because, you know, I mean, we've said 26 years, 30 years, that's a long time, right? And to think that we're still learning after 26 years. So for the people who are just getting started, I hope you can hear that it's almost like, you know, whatever needs to be worked on, you just continue doing it in order to have a happy marriage.
Yeah.
It's
does it get better?
Does it get better?
Huh?
Pardon?
Does it get better, as in with the communication? Does it get better? Those that are looking towards the 30 years, those of us that are looking at this 30 years coming, from the guy's side.
So, like I said, I'm still working on it. I'm beginning to see to see why it is necessary. To do it.
Okay.
And when you're set in your ways, at times it's very difficult to change things. When you come from two different backgrounds, two different families, like you said, there's a different way to communicate in their family as opposed to communicated in my family. And that's what marriage is all about. You're bringing different situations into one pot. And you have to mix it, you have to cook it, it has to taste nice.
And
bring out the best that you can, you know, from it. So that's basically the way it's been with so many different things that we'll go through in life.
So I have a follow-up to that. Now, in terms of your style of communication, is it that, you know, there's some people who they don't talk, but it festers on the inside, right? And there's some people who, if they're not talking, it's because they'll rather just do away with it, right? In terms of it's not that important, right? So I think for me, it's like, what's the balance there in terms of, I can say I don't want to talk because I don't want the other person's issues or problems, or, you know, as we say in Nigeria, wahala. But I'm also now, I have an unforgiving mindset around the issues, right? But I mean, it can't be the case because you all are 26 years, but I'm saying, you know, if we're talking about difference between now and early years, what would you say for you is the status quo in terms of, is it that I don't see the need for us to talk about this, it's not that big a deal, or is it just that, you know what, I don't want any issues, so let's just put a lid on it, right?
So earlier it was just the fact that that's just what I was used to. And I found out that I was brooding a lot. Because, you know, I think what she's done or what she said does not make sense, or maybe I feel hurt by what I said or done at some point. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And then when I get angry in that situation, she's looking at me like, what is wrong with this person? Why are you getting angry? Why is this such a big deal? What's your problem? So that is the difference, you know, those are differences I'm talking about. In a different way. And I'm thinking, you know, what you did to me is disrespectful. But she's like, come on. And those are the things I'm, you know, talking about that I'm working on every day. And yes, it does get better, but, you know, there are going to be days where you just go to those places, you know, you shouldn't. And yes, it's going to bring out some not so, you know, nice things, but the best thing is that at the end of the day, if you're able to get over it and move on. Another thing I've learned lately, I mean, maybe within the last couple of years, is the fact that I shouldn't sleep on things. Get it out, air it out, and let it go, because you don't want it, like you said, you know, things fester and then it goes into the next day, and to the next day, and then you explode.
Wow, just this one question has taken us to so many different places. And we're laughing because that's us this week. You go back to a place you didn't want to go back. You're like, I thought we had gone past this. Like, what's going on?
So those are basically the things that I'm trying to work on. And then sometimes just to let go, let her win.
I mean,
She won't agree, but that's the truth.
Goodness.
So,
Okay. Question.
two.
Yeah.
You take it.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you have 3 beautiful kids. I feel like I've been there, right? Through growing up. So what has been your biggest challenge in raising them, teaching them your values and staying relevant? I remember, I'll tell you, I was at, your 50th birthday and the children gave such a moving, like, speech. Just thinking about it now is even just making me emotional. I remember Sophia, how old is Sophia now? 19, right? She kept saying, my mother is my best friend. And that really touched me because I said, how many teenage children get to say that, right? So that shows something that you people have done well for them. So tell us about raising them, the challenges.
Obviously, as you would know, Yinka's and stuff, right? The kids can get away with almost anything with me. It takes a while for me to get to the point where like, why are you doing that? And stop that. Or maybe I get angry or something. And when they want to discuss issues at times, obviously they know the buck stops at Yinka's table. But they'll come to me and try to bamboozle me into accepting what they want to do. Well, at the end of the day, I just say, go to your mother. Whatever mom says, then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But they were like, mom's going to say this. That's why I'm saying go to her. All right, let's see. And you don't know, you never know, we might be on the same page. And I mean, the thing here is, when you look at the way we were raised in Nigeria, you cannot put a round peg in a square hole. Yeah, there has to be a lot of give and take here and there. Okay, you want to do it the way you were raised in Nigeria, but you're not in Nigeria. It's a different ballgame altogether. I'll let you guys talk.
Yeah, I think for me, I think them as kids, I've always made them understand that I'm the number one cheerleader, number one best friend. Even from when the baby's like, okay, you can have other friends, but I'm the go-to person for anything. Good, bad, always come. I've always built that confidence in them as a child. So people like difficult conversations, I have no problem like talking to them about sex. Are you thinking about it? Are you on social media? You should. So there are ways I approach them that it's not very harsh, makes them open up easily and freely to me. Like even when they do something bad, there's this remorse feeling. They're like, wow, like mom is going to kill me because I now offended mom. And I think just having that trust, making the children trust you from the very beginning, like you can open up, you can again communicate. I mean, that's the word, communication. You can communicate with me on anything. I'll always be there. So like when they're making, decisions in life much later, you still be part of them. Like now, I think our youngest, Olivia, for some reason, I think she was going through peer pressure in school and middle schoolers, and she wouldn't talk about it, trying to make friends, and then she was buying lunch to one of her friends, trying to think, and I said, sit down. I don't belong in any clique. I don't belong in clique. They don't have to be your friends, Olivia. Like, you can be your own person. You can go to school and do creative things that God has, given you, and don't be a follower, create your own space. And I think she really loved that, because she came back the upper week and she was like, oh mom, like I started this knitting club in school, and I met other people, like who were like me. So I don't have to belong to that other group. So you can imagine if I didn't confront her in an early stage, like, you don't have to. I could have gone on there like, okay, let's call the other kids' parents, let's be friends with them. But we don't have to do that, you don't. So each and every one of them have always, instilled that experience, that love. Even till now, I sit them on my lap and I kiss them for like, I love you. Please, like, and I always ask you, how much do you love me? They will say too much. I'm like, Don't contact all the names there. I love my Sophia, I love my Vincent, I love my Olivia.
Except for me.
He's not my child. I'm not my children.
They're beautiful.
They see the affection between Fola and I. They see that we do have like arguments, and like in the next 5-10 minutes, like they see us laughing again. This is life. These are things we want them to see. Like, you know, we do, you know, we make mistakes and we have room to make, you know, to make corrections for it. They see us like when we talk, we gist, you know, we fight, we argue. Like yesterday we were cooking in the kitchen, something happened, and we need 5 to 10 minutes. We're like, why did you guys argue? Like when we made up. You know, like this is life for real. We want him to have that knowing, like, you know, it's not sugar coated the way, you know, like things will happen, but they need to know how to, you know, get the balance back. The communication they give for the kids is very important. Very so as they get older, they always have a place, a safe place, a safe haven. So we should be the ones, we should be the champion anytime.
I think it's just necessary that they see all the different phases, you know, when you're in a bad mood, in a good mood, whatever, so that they can understand that it's not always going to be a bed of roses. There are going to be times that you don't agree, and there are going to be times that, you know, you agree to disagree, and you know, that's just the basis of life as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question now. I feel like what you've not told people is that you're a psychologist. So I wonder if that comes into the parenting. Like, do you turn that on and off? How does that work for you?
Big time.
A lot of time, even with Folarin, I'm like, Folarin, you should be paying me for all this therapy I'm giving you. I'm like, you owe me money, your family owes you. I've been fixing you since I met you. I need money.
She always sees
my number one client.
The fixing that she does. She doesn't see the fixing that I do.
I try not to, but it's just
it's
like, you know, when something happens, I'm like, why don't you talk about it? Like, we should talk about it. And I feel like that kind of the therapy person in me that I have to I want to go to bed, you know, feeling better, lighter. Carry issues, you know, Folarin stepped on my toes. I want to carry that to bed, you know. So let's talk about it, you know, so we get better at night, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, obviously, like Otis is asking that question about bringing the psychologist part into the whole situation. For some time, I used to think, this is not right. I don't think you should be doing it this way, or I don't think this is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Or this is not the time to talk about this. Let's wait till later. And she's like, no, let's do it now. Let her talk. Like maybe Sophia, we're talking to her. Let her say what she has to say now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, the other two are here. This is, you know, deep stuff we want to talk about with her. Why are they here? She says, just let them stay and let them learn. And for me, that was new, was strange. I always something had to be discussed about one particular person. Let's just have that person sit down and discuss. Which is like, no, it still kind of rubs me funny, but I just go with the flow.
I think the kids are used to it.
Now they're used to it.
The time we went to pick Sophia college for the weekend, and, you know, she was bouncing, coming towards us, and just randomly in the car, like, Sophia, are you having sex? You know, like, you know you shouldn't. And the other kid's like, Mom, ew. I was like, well, you're not meant to, but I'm just trying to I
thought that was just you know, cringe, as my kids would say. But
we should, because if we don't do that, like other people will do that for them outside their house.
So,
strangers, we occupy their hearts and tell them all the things they're not supposed to, you know, fill their head with all those things. So I'm like, you know these things out there, but you know you shouldn't.
And that just goes back to what I was saying, that the Nigerian and the American you have to mix it here. You have no choice.
Even with friends, like,
you have to mix it
constantly. Like, oh, are you liking any boy? You have a friend. We need to meet. We need to know him. You know, you can have. I'm not saying not to, but we just, you know, involve us. You know, let's meet it. And I think that helps the kids. Like, even eventually, when they really want to start dating, you know, they don't feel alone. You know, they're not pressured by a guy. Like, especially not like, you know, like, you need to have all the love. For like, you need to show your daughters so much love, so that no guy out there, you know, will occupy their hearts, or like, you know, tell them like, what all these silly boys do. We're not for lying anyway. So you don't know, you know, boys and their tails. I said, no, I don't want them to come to you. Tell you all the things. Feel like your father, you know, God, your first father loves you, then your father loves you. Even those two things first before any boy comes and tell you, like. I do that a lot with them.
That's one thing I'm appreciative for, and I'm like, you know, a situation whereby you let them understand that whatever you need
Okay.
will be provided.
Yeah.
You don't need to go out there to look for it. Now, if you do like somebody, say it. Let us know what it is you're doing. Because as Yinka said, she's your cheerleader and we're the biggest advocate you could ever have out there. So if anything's going on, anything's going wrong, let us know so that we can, let us know immediately so we can nip the bud if something, you know.
And I think I still frustrate Falani with that a lot.
Yeah.
Like I will compare Falani with my dad. If you didn't know, my father loves me so much. Father takes care of me. If I have to make my hair, I was like, hey, go and meet him on Ikoyi now.
I always like let her answer, what's your father?
So I that feeling like, oh, I came from a home where I had a father who was very loving and supportive.
Yeah.
You know, you have to look at anything. I'm like, oh, my father loves me. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Pour that into the marriage, and I'm trying to teach my kids, and I still remind Falani every day. But like, they love me.
It's funny because people who don't know you will be like, meanwhile, this is a Falani that helps you take out your hair, helps you, know, like,
So,
I'm on my brother's side, please. I'm on my brother's side.
It's funny you picked up that particular aspect because this is stuff I used to help my mom with. Taking out hair. So I know how to take out hair.
So you bought marriage.
I know how to take out hair. I know how to help it, stuff like that.
I remember the first day I saw you doing it, I'm like, hey?
So the thing again is, you know, she's talking about the fact that her father was always there, you know, provided for. My setup was different totally. Okay, my mother raised me with my grandmother. I wasn't raised by my dad. And like I said, I'm a working project. I mean, a project, you know, still going on. It's ongoing. I'm learning a lot of different things every day. And some of them have been hard, but I'm learning them because I didn't grow up with my dad in the house. So there's certain things that I'm supposed to know, I'm supposed to do that obviously didn't click. And every day it's hard, but I'm trying to get to that point whereby I'm that person that they can lean on, and you know, so it's not easy, but it's not impossible. And like they always say with God, you know, everything, you know.
But I'd say 30 years later, you have to be doing something right.
Hey, I'm telling you, I feel like
along the way.
Okay, it's the grace of God. Everything you see is the grace of God. Nothing else. Don't let anyone fool you. There's no book on it. Well, the Bible, right? But it's the grace of God.
This is, to me, it's so encouraging because I feel like every time I'm hearing you say, I'm still a work in progress, I'm still working, and I'm like, boy, you have 26 years experience under your belt, as they say. So thank you for that level of humility, I would say, right? Because it's like, you just know it's not you, it's been God all the way. So yeah.
All right, I'm moving to the next question. You guys are both deeply involved in the autism community and in autism awareness. Tell us your journey. What sparked this? Why this? And what advice you have for families struggling right now, considering that this is Autism Month, and if you have any projects going on?
And the prevalence keeps increasing. I feel like every time you turn to the news, right, you just see that increased prevalence. Now, people may say it's because of now you have sophisticated diagnostic methods. We didn't know what it was back in the day, but there's something, right? Because more and more children, boys, girls, are being diagnosed with autism. Adults now too.
I think now the CDC rated, I think it's 1 in every 36. Like 10, 12 years ago was 1 in like 150. So so obvious that it's getting me back. You want me to talk about it?
No, you go first. I'll just give you. You speak with your hat on, and after that, I'll add a little. So
I think like 2 decades ago, like almost 20 years ago, I started working in that field in Philadelphia, child link. I didn't know much about autism then because it wasn't so out. But I was working with kids, at-risk children who were born kind of with delays or no defect. And eventually we had the autism thing I started getting interested in knowing more about it. And for us, it was when we had our youngest daughter, Olivia. Oops, baby. We had I kind of noticed some things going on when she was 6 to 9 months. So remember, I've already been in this field, so I know the signs, I know the trick. And I had my own child. I think I was breastfeeding her when she was 6 months, and I was doing all the 5 things, like looking for fine, so those things, physical communication, direct eye contact. She wasn't giving me direct eye contact. 6 months, when I was, what's going on there? I tried all the tricks in the book. Then I just knew there was something wrong. I think then we had our mom staying with us, helping with the baby, and she was like, it's fine, kids grow up. This is my department. I know there's something. And I've been advocating for it. Even if I had Olivia, I've been doing basic, awareness for autism, checking and doing treatment. So I because we live in Delaware County, but I work in Philadelphia County. So I called the team in Delaware to come over and just do an assessment for her. Really, at that time, she's meant to be too young for assessment. Which is what is right now. They wait so long for the kids to be full grown to do any kind of. I fought the system. I knew what to do. I'm like, no, you have to check my child. I don't have to turn 1 or 2. I have delay. So I think they sent the team over for the assessment. And funny enough, the same team I worked with in Philadelphia that came over to the house for the assessment. And I think she was borderline when they finished the assessment. Borderline because she wasn't communicating. And I think she had some not physical, I think it was gross motor, like she would hold on some things, but not firmly. So we noticed all that too. So, and when you're borderline, you're not qualified. You don't have ASD. Then I fought for it. I told her I needed her to have service, but anyway, they gave her. So she had speech, OT, SI, which is special instructor, and we're coming to the house and the daycare. And on my own part, I had to gather my family and talk about what's going on to the youngest child in the family. Like, there's something. And the good thing was, like, the 2 other kids, Sophia and Vincent, years before then, they've been very active in community stuff with autism. I think we also joined us one of the works.
Yes.
Yeah. So the kids were already, they knew about autism, they knew about kids with disability, so they were aware. But I think it was kind of strange that join the family, who could be impacted with that. And I kind of explained that, okay, this is what you have to do. We're not going to treat her differently. She's still a normal child. She's still part of this family. Just like Vincent, like how you hurt your foot one side, we're going to fix Olivia. So that was the code I was giving them, like, if she can't talk, you have to talk for her. She can't express, you have to. I just made them in charge, of Olivia, especially when Fula and I were not there. And the just like, you have to be the one, to advocate for your younger sister. You have to, be a voice where she can't talk. And I think the kids grew up knowing that, like, oh, we have a sister in the house, that they have therapists coming every now and then to work with her. She has all the way till we got to Michigan and she got into kindergarten. We came in an IEP, and I think the IEP meeting part, I had to also teach for like, when we get there, this is what we say.
So, sorry, IEP for.
IEP is individualized education plan.
Okay.
So that's the plan by the school district for kids who have special needs. Not necessarily autism, it could be anything. Why you have, they do that plan for you. Because once the child turns 5 and in the school system, they take over. Much younger, from 0 to 5 is the early intervention that does that.